Alright, so it looks like I'm coming back right in time for game 1 of Raptor and Suarez versus SeanS and Cyberman. And we're looking at things in winners finals already. Alright, bracket's moving along swiftly, and we've got two solid teams ahead of us. A bit of a twist on the usual double Yoshi that we see, but nonetheless, double Yoshi is upon us. And SeanS and Cyberman proving that their team synergy sticks around no matter how many breaks these two players take from teaming with each other. Looking at things now, though, it seems that double Yoshi is in the lead stock-wise, but that could change at any moment given how well Corrin can control space on Final Destination. And just like that, we have the tied stocks. Although Suarez looking a bit worse for wear at 118%. And SeanS is looking to contest that notion and try to get this Yoshi out of here, but Raptor looking to at least get a hold of him in the meantime. Cyberman not really having too much of an effect right now, just sort of dipping in and out, get his damage on. He's going to be maintaining stock control for Blue Team, but we also see him manage to pick that stock off of Suarez, and he tries to go for the double play on Raptor, but it's no avail. Raptor sitting at 72%, and he's looking to put the hurt on Blue Team in return. And Suarez going for the offstage play against Cyberman, but good patience keeps Cyber in the running. Meanwhile, SeanS controlling where Raptor's moving for the time being, but Suarez brings the hammer down onto SeanS in return, and reverse nair managing to pick off Cyberman, leaving both members of Blue Team on their last stocks. Meanwhile, Raptor sitting with a reserve for Red Team, and Suarez not looking like he's in a position to need it just yet, sitting at 45%. Things looking pretty fresh for the Yoshis coming into Winners Finals. We have the 1v1 situation split off on the sides now, although the Yoshi's quickly converging so that they can control their space together. And SeanS going for the up throw mix-up, but not getting anything off of it. Blue Team seems to be hitting each other a little bit too much right now. Now, one can argue that the percentage you build up with friendly fire isn't too big of a deal, but when the becomes crunch time like this, they got to be careful. A quick counter surge from SeanS is going to be tying things up, but it'll be a little too late, as we have Cyberman sitting at 90% in counting as he flies into the blast zone alongside Suarez, and SeanS sitting at 103, although he's sitting firm with stage control while the Yoshis maintain the ledge. Suarez looking to contest that space, and Cyberman flying in accordingly. Raptor doing well to maintain this the fresh percentage, although as I mentioned that, taking a little bit, but in return, almost killing SeanS. And it's going to be the up air from Suarez that cleans things up over there, and a nair almost doing it in for Cyberman. But double Yoshi's making things look a little difficult for Cyber to return to the stage at 147% in counting. Suarez just sitting there menacingly in shield while forward air cleans things up. And Raptor and Suarez take game 1. All right, so Static teammates got to figure out a new game plan moving in on these Yoshis. Yoshi packs a hell of a punch as we move forward. Contests air incredibly easily, and that's going to help with mitigating all of that space that Cyberman likes to run around with. And Corrin doesn't really do too much for contesting aerial space. She's very dominating on the ground, but she can't do much to Yoshi when both of them are in the air, constantly contesting space with instant hitboxes. They seem to be hovering around what Omega they want to choose, going from Wily's Castle to Suzaku, and it looks like Suzaku is going to be the choice. Going into game 2. It's a very interesting pick considering FD was the previous stage, but I like it. It's a little bit less ground space to control, and that could make the difference as far as building up the percentage against red team that blue team might need. However, both the Yoshis have shown that they can control space rather well and take that the lack of platforms as a sign to just dominate in the air. Right away, we have the percentages built up against the Yoshis. However, Cyberman looking like he's taking the brunt of the force for blue team. Raptor and Suarez trying to figure out how to organize their egg pressure, but things looking good for them as one slip up from the Dragon Tank shot allows red team to take complete control of the stage. And a volley of eggs and a Yoshi drop leads to first blood going in favor of red team. Raptor right now doing a fantastic job of just making sure to check the movement options for blue team. Corrin not really able to move around with Pin too much, having to worry about Yoshi Nair challenging it. And Cyberman not really doing a lot of aerial spin dashing for the sake of movement because he can't afford to meet it with Yoshi hitboxes. The back air from Cyber allows blue team to contest for stage control, and a well-spaced Dragon Lunge gets a stock off of Suarez, leaving Raptor at 139%. And a Nair from SeanS is going to be taking things back. Blue team sitting in a lead that we haven't seen just yet in this set, but it's fast and fleeting as we see a late hit from Raptor manage to connect the stock. SeanS seems to have figured out that Nair is going to be one of his best spacing tools in this matchup, just because the hitbox on both sides of Corrin is going to allow him to contest from these Yoshis when they go to pressure, and both Raptor and Suarez have a tendency to converge around the same time when they have the space to do so. And while forward air would be the quicker option, Nair is certainly the safer option in this situation. And as far as things are concerned on Double Yoshi's side, a very interesting tool that we're seeing Raptor use to further contest space for a blue team is the use of Egg Lay. Now, instead of setting it up for his own damage stacking combos, he seems to be using it as a way to mitigate the startup on Spin Dash from Cyberman. Although that's not putting any fear into blue team as they try to keep things even as the pressure builds up on them. Cyber trying to clean up the stock on Raptor, but he's not able to get it just yet. Raptor trying to return the favor as both members of the opposing team sit with high percentages. Meanwhile, SeanS just trying to figure out his way back onto stage, and Suarez trying to keep himself in the mix without taking too much damage. Excellent DI from Raptor is going to be keeping him in it at 144. And a back air from him is going to be cleaning up that stock. No reserve for blue team. This is do or die for them now. Meanwhile, Raptor doing a fantastic job of maintaining this reserve stock. And we see the forward air come out from Suarez, dealing quite a bit of damage to Raptor, but certainly meeting him with a better fate than the results of a Corrin up throw. Excellent sense of spacing from both players. We see that Raptor and SeanS just trying to meet each other with their furthest reaching moves, but Raptor just going for the fairest of trades right now. He doesn't want to build up any superior amounts of damage, and all of that waiting finally goes to pay off, sitting at 191%, but his reserve stock is saved for Suarez. Suarez now on his clean stock and having to deal with the 2v1. However, both members of blue team are sitting with rather high percentages. Not too difficult of a situation for a Yoshi to deal with, however, blue team is waiting patiently for their moment to strike and build up that damage where they can. Suarez just trying now to space his way around blue team, although you have a grab and the Dragon Fang Chomp coming right down. Starts doing whatever he can to try and weave between these two members, although they're keeping their movement really tight. They're making sure not to give Suarez any clear, definitive openings onto them. We have another grab, and the release goes right into a forward smash. SeanS bringing things back to even as we move into game 3. All right, it's anyone's game at this point now. And game 3 is going to be bringing us into Smashville. All right. Right off the bat, things look a little bit more in favor of the Yoshis as we move forward into this game 3. It's very easy for Yoshi to contest the space in this stage without having to dedicate too much to movement. Egg throw allows control of the platforms without being necessarily on top of it, but the excellent air acceleration of Yoshi allows him at any point to retreat to the platforms if things go sour. So with both of those factors paying into red team, it's going to be interesting to see how blue team tries to control or at the very least contest the space. Right now, things are looking much the same to the beginning of Game 2, where most of the damage on board was racking up towards red team. Although this time it seems that things are a little worse for wear for SeanS, sitting at 110%. And he's going to have to try to keep himself a little bit more healthy, as he seems to be the one bringing most of the hurt to the enemy team. Although that's going to be a bit harder to do now that he's sitting with one stock less. Red team seems to have noticed this factor, and they seem to be converging their efforts mostly on SeanS, while Cyberman moves himself around, almost treating him like a stage hazard, instead of considering the lack of focus on him. Nonetheless, blue team still manages to take stock off of Suarez, while Raptor waits by the sidelines, trying to damage wherever he can. Doing a fine job of challenging space, but Cyberman's excellent sense of patience brings him back to stage with little impact. We have the throw from Cyberman, and the back throw manages to take the stock off of Raptor. Cyber now being the only member of this play to sit with 3 stocks, although he's at 137%, leaving him a bit in that high priority target range for red team if they do decide to focus in on him. However, it seems that both members of red team continue to focus their efforts on SeanS. Very quick interaction in that mess does lead to the loss of stock from Cyberman, while SeanS is sitting at 93% now. Cyber seeming to want to be a bit more proactive here in Game 3, putting in a lot more hitboxes and actively focusing out the more aggressive Yoshi, as he manages to leave Suarez at his last stock now. And the B-reversed egg lay not really doing anything for Raptor, coming down rather dangerously. And we have the air dodge read. Fantastic play from SeanS, leaving the Yoshis on their last legs now. While both members of blue team are sitting at higher percentages, they still have reserve stocks. An up smash from Suarez is going to be finishing that up for Cyberman, however. With the last reserve stock sitting in favor of SeanS at 132%. Corrin's no character to joke around about when it comes to what they can do with Rage. Threateningly charging spin dash over there on the corner. Blue team recognizes that they don't have an immediate need to approach right now. Yoshi's percentage is increasing slowly but surely. Meanwhile, SeanS still has that stock in reserve. And the residual hitbox from the down throw places both members of red team off stage. A forward smash from Cyberman leaves us in the 1v2 situation, but Suarez escapes it narrowly. Quick up air from Suarez, while the Yoshis weave between each other, brings us to tied stock situation. However, the Yoshis are looking worse for wear and looking hurt. It's going to be Suarez left in the 2v1 situation at 127%. Brings himself back on stage safely thanks to the egg throwing. However, he does have to worry about this handoff, and there it is. It's going to be SeanS and Cyberman sitting in grand finals of teams tonight.